Hey, welcome back to the Signature Movement. It's your girl Tanya D. Floyd. Um, as you can see, um, yeah, I'm having some challenges here because I got rained on the other day, and I um I caught myself wetting the big paddle brush and going through my whole head because I had it in a bun when I got rained on, so just the top part was doing the whole wave. So when I brushed all the way through, I bunned it back up just to see what each piece would. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna end up with, but I think I'm gonna have to wash it and start over because if I go to the stylist, it's getting warm again. It's just gonna be like this next week. So I don't know, but that ain't what I want to talk about. I wanted to ask you, if you had $1 million today, what would you do with it? I'm curious. I want to know. Put it in the comments. I want to know, if you had $1 million today, what would you do with it? I ain't giving you $1 million. I don't have access to $1 million. But I was just thinking about some stuff. Like, I don't know. Today I woke up just feeling like somebody needed to hear something. And after I did what I promised I would do, when I was praying, I said I'm gonna go ahead and fill out that something for taxes. What is this? Some kind of it's a thing for your property tax. I had to do some documents for that, and then I had to look at this letter that says the state of Maryland is auditing my Maryland tax return, and now I got to go pull teeth again. Like, it took me a long time to do my taxes in the first place. Now I got to go back and pick out all the pieces that I want them to have based on what they asked me. Because, if you give them too much information, it could be a problem. It's going to be hard. But I said I was going to do that today. So I started that. And then I was sitting here and I was like, remembering like this one particular phase in my life before I bought my house. I had the two kids and we were living in an apartment. I remember distinctly, it was in the early 2000s, maybe around 2006 or 7, something like that. But whoo, child, at one point, the IRS had audited my husband and me. We hired an accountant to go through all our records and, deal with them on that. Well, the accountant went ghost, disappeared, and we couldn't get access to our records. So, bottom line is, since I worked there, I took a hit. I took an L. I had to have my wages garnished because they assessed all these taxes and penalties, and because we couldn't prove the deductions that we had taken for whatever years they were asking about, right? So I got garnished for I don't remember how long. Look, a lot of that stuff I blacked out. I don't recall how it happened, how much it was. Okay, so I'm fuzzy on some of the details because it was traumatic, and I think I blocked a lot of it out. But for all the years that they had wanted to investigate, we couldn't substantiate anything because the guy had our tax records with him. We couldn't find him. His business shut down or whatever happened. But I was being garnished, right? Until I got sick and tired. It went on at least a year, and my kids and I were in an apartment, so we were kind of struggling. No, it wasn't no kind of. We were struggling because I had left my husband in 2005. We came down on two different sides of this, what I considered a really big issue involving the kids. And I didn't see how it could work out if we didn't get on the same page. So I took my kids, packed them up, and left. If I had it all to do again with the same information, same circumstances, I would do the same thing. But it doesn't make it easier when you're trying to live it. Pause on that. So anyway, out here with the kids, trying to make my way on the one income. And it wasn't a good income. It was just like enough to supplement. Like when we were two, it was enough to supplement what we really needed. Because his salary took care of everything. And mine was like fluff. We could just do a bunch of extra stuff because we had that. And I never really reached for advancement at work because, we had talked about it and decided that, I would rather you focus on the house and the kids and not, trying to be some powerhouse out here in the world. And the government, it's all about grades and steps. So it's not like I was trying to go get a new job in private sector or anything. We just absolutely decided not to do that. But it was just like the focus had to be the family. And I was on board with that. It was cool. That's what I wanted. But then when I was out there on my own, it was a little tougher trying to transition into I want to be that powerhouse now. I need this income now. I need to do different things. You know how it is when you starting out, you starting out. So, they garnished my check. I didn't have enough to pay my rent every month. Somehow, I don't know how the numbers came together to make it what it needed to be each time, but God made a way. I I I swear I couldn't tell you how I strung together the dollars and cents because it was on autopilot. It had nothing to do with me. I wasn't doing it. I just prayed on it and it happened each month. But at one point, like I said, I got sick and tired of the things being like that, and I said I was going to take control of my life, and that's when I decided I was going to buy a house. Don't ask me how I thought I was going to get it done. Again, I don't know how it came to be. I prayed on it and it did come to be. So, like, I guess I'm talking to somebody who's out here struggling right now because, girl, I, I don't know how the numbers came together. I do not. They just did. And I didn't get put out, even though I had at least one eviction notice on my door at some point. And, I talking about garnishing my check, I had to figure out how we were going to eat. And I don't think it was as simple as go get food stamps back then because my salary was officially a good salary. So it wasn't like you and these two kids getting some food stamps. It was like, no. So, what I was getting wasn't reflective of my actual salary because they were garnishing my check. But what I was making was more than I could get any assistance for, if that makes any sense. My girlfriend called it the golden handcuffs because, it's like it looks all good, the numbers on the paper. But when you try to live on it, it's like, no, you're not going nowhere. But, yeah, it was tough. I remember this one specific instance where I was literally at my wit's end because I didn't have it. I had a few dollars and I remember I used to go to this store called Save a Lot and you could get a spaghetti meal for $4 at Save a Lot. You get the noodles for like 88 cents, the whole box of spaghetti pasta, and I would get the angel hair because it was different than spaghetti. It was better for us. So I got the angel hair for 88 cents. I would get a couple of jars of sauce, like dollar sauce, and then I would get a pack of ground turkey. It was just $4 and some change, and we ate spaghetti, and it was great. I remember there were other little things in there that were really inexpensive where you could put together a meal for 3 people with no problem. Like macaroni and tuna. You buy a couple of cans of tuna, you buy a box of macaroni, you got a meal for a couple of days because it's going to make a big bowl, right? Then you get some saltine crackers. Poor people's food. That's what we call it in our family. It's just certain things you could get real quick to put together to make a meal for more people. And then, it would fill you. It was a good meal. You get some juice for $1. A big jug of juice or a carton of Minute Maid or whatever back then, you could easily find juice for $1. But yeah, we did. We had a lot of those days. I remember I used to do this thing with potatoes. I used to cut white potatoes, slice them in discs, and I would buy a pack of ground turkey sausage that looked like, the smoked sausage, like the Eckrich with the little link type stuff. I would cut that up in little circles to go with the potatoes, and I would put it together. And people thought it was good, and I was like suffering, but it worked, right? So I would find ways to make us okay. And I remember this one time I was so broke, I couldn't figure out what I was going to do next. And I don't know, something just came over me, and I said, you know what? We are going to the movies. We ain't going to get no snacks, but we going to see this movie. And they were youngish. Like, I think, forget about it. But what year did Happy Feet come out? They were kids. So we went to see Happy Feet. All I really had was the money to take us to the movie theater and buy us the one adult ticket and the two kids tickets. And I don't know, maybe somebody was free. I don't remember, but I had just enough money to do that. And I was like, they will never know how sad I am today because we gonna see this movie. So we saw Happy Feet. We came home and I pretended everything was great. And I don't know, somehow we got out of there. I'm going to keep saying somehow because I literally do not know how the numbers came together to make the rent get paid, to put gas in the car, and to feed us while they were garnishing my paycheck. It's just stuff like that that the kids don't understand about the Single Mama Saga, right? Mm. All right, so Happy Feet came out in 2006. So my son was 6, and my daughter was like 12. Are they 6 years apart? Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, 2006. So, hardest days of my life. But in 2007, I decided I was gonna file for child support because, it just made sense. It wasn't really successful, but it turns out we really didn't need that because, again, God made a way. I started working on my credit in 2008. I had just found out I was pregnant with my 3rd child. I knew we couldn't keep being like that. We weren't that. And I'm guessing they had finished garnishing my wages because I felt like I could really make a go of it. So I went and did a bunch of research on credit and settlements, and there were certain things I knew I was never going to get off my credit. Like, there were some collections, and I felt like, if you pay them, then they say they paid, but they still there. So I wrote a bunch of letters, and I wrote to like a bunch of different public agencies too, to tell them that the creditors were treating me unfairly, and some kind of way, again, God made a way. Whatever I fumbled my way through without proper education on the topic, I got my credit to like a 630, and all the bad stuff was gone. I bought a truck. Before I bought the house, I didn't really know, but I needed it because my other truck had gone away, so I had to buy a new truck. So I bought a truck in 2008. I realized I was pregnant, and then I started making moves with credit, and a few months later I had a pre-approval, and I was shopping for a house. So in around February 2009, I thought, we're going to move before the baby's born. We're going to do it. Didn't happen. It didn't happen until a month after he was born. So by my birthday in 2009, I had a new house. A house. a single family home with 3 bedrooms. You can make it 4. 3 baths, full baths. Nice size yard. Nice size front. Nice neighborhood. Bunch of kids. Families. It was a good thing. And I was happy for a change. Because God knows I wasn't happy before that. But again, I think I was supposed to be out here talking to somebody today. I don't know your story, but I know mine. And I'm going to tell you, there was no way I could see where I've come to. You know what I'm saying? It never would have seen what I can see now. I didn't know it, what I know about me. I didn't know I had it. I didn't know I could do it. I didn't know I could figure it out. But I always had the power of prayer. I ain't had nothing else. I didn't have faith in much else in this life. But, people, I saw something on Facebook yesterday where somebody was like, it was a picture of a girl standing on like a dock or something and a hand coming up out of the water. And they're like, this is what it's like when you just tell somebody you're in trouble. Oh, pray on it. She just looking down at the hand coming out the water. But the difference is clearly she was in a position to help. She could have just reached down and helped them. Sometimes the people that you're talking to can't help you. They don't have it. They can't do it. But if they do pray for you, and if you pray for you, that's everything you need. He know what you need. He gonna send the right people to get you. He gonna send the right people to make the way. You don't have to understand it. You ain't got to be able to put the dollars and cents together to find out how the rent got paid that month. You ain't got to figure out what kindness was shown by some stranger or, stop trying to figure out the mechanics of the thing. And I know that's coming from me. That's real tough. I always got to go with the logic and the reason and the ration and the dollars and the cents because math never lets me down. But I'm telling you, just go with it when it comes. Because it's not going to really make sense, but it's going to make sense. You know what I'm saying? I did not come in here to do all this, but somebody needed to know. Oh, I was about to go off on another tangent, and the phone reminded me gently that we don't have no more memory in this phone, Floyd. Just stop. So, but before I was so rudely interrupted, I was going to tell you, before we get back to this $1 million, though, I just want to pause right here and say, every adult needs to look at their Lexis Nexis report. That is the company who does information gathering for you and reports to you on the different creditors and companies and employers and everybody that want to know, are you worthy? That they give them information. There's a couple other ones out there, but let's start with that. Because when I pulled mine, it was 89 pages of Tanya Floyd. And I'm not going to say Tanya D. Floyd because it was me and a couple of other Floyds mixed in there, Tanya's from other places. Like they had an employer and a residence in Georgia. I ain't never been to Georgia. Wasn't me. But I knew back in some years ago, like 2007, when I was doing my first website, I knew there was another girl named Tanya Floyd who was in Georgia. She was writing poems and different things, and I didn't want us to get confused, so I started using my middle initial on everything from then on. So, a lot of stuff out there that says Tanya Floyd, it ain't me. But 89 pages of everywhere I've ever lived, every car I ever had, every accident I've ever had, and some I've never been in, every... oh, goodness. What else was it? Employer. I don't know how far back their records go, but it was a lot. 89 pages. Come on. How many entries is that? But they had stuff on my kids because, it's about my address now. So everything my kids did, where they had accidents or different things with their own cars, my car. Too much information. So you need to go get your Lexis Nexis report. It's free. It's just like asking for your annual credit report. Look it over. You're going to need a whole nother document with lined paper, or go on a computer while you're looking at it over here. Just go down line by line, put every entry that's wrong, and dispute it like you would a credit report. I'm pretty sure you can find a video about it, but do that. Because you're wondering why, they saying you got these medical bills. Why your car insurance so high? Why you didn't get that job? Why so many things? You're like, what in the world could they be looking at? That's not what I see. They got stuff you don't even know you got. And again, it might be somebody else in there mixed in with your stuff. So many addresses I ain't never lived at. Never. Where'd I get this from? But they just go like crawling around the internet in places, putting stuff down that might be associated with you, and they keep it because it might be associated with you until you go in there and say, hey, no, that's not me and that's not right. So Lexis Nexis. Now back to this $1 million. What would you do if you had $1 million today? I would go on USDA.gov. First things first. USDA.gov. And I would find pieces of land that I would want to buy. And I would start trying to buy them. Then I would begin building I'm not going to call it a dream home, but my next home. I want this mid-century modern exterior with a modern interior so bad. And I know it doesn't exist. I got to build it. Or I got to find the shell that I want, but it ain't none in the places that I want it. So I would find that land, build that house. Why do I say that? Now, I want to pause and say, I don't recommend you jump out there and buy your dream home as soon as you get some money. I want you to invest in some things first. Buy a home that you can live with while you build your empire. You know what I'm saying? But I'm at a point in my life where this house that I'm currently in can be my investment. I know what I'm doing. Okay? So I'm going to go build the house I want to live in on the piece of land that I buy. I'm going to keep some other pieces of land in case somebody else want to build a home. They can, we can work something out. But I'm investing in land. And when I finish building the house that I want to live in, I'm going to go get a whole new HVAC system for this house, and I'm going to rent it out. Might put some new siding on it too. I would take $20,000 and make this house better. All it needs is HVAC, new siding, some trim paint. Yes, other than that, it's great. Perfect. We've renovated everything in the last 5 years. Everything's pretty much new. All the plumbing's new. Yeah, we good. So that's what I would do for that. And then I would learn about some of these crypto and other hyperverse type investment opportunities, and I would go there because that's where technology is taking us right now. I got a real conflict because I feel like, if it ain't real, it ain't for me. But value is value. And the market says there's value in these, I'm going to call them virtual reality places. So I will dabble in that a little bit. And just it's about finding ways to increase the funds you already have. Money got to be working for you. It's got to always be doing something, or else you're not using it right. So I would use my money to earn more money in ways that I know are marketable and valuable right now. If that changes, you just pull it out and move it somewhere else. But land ain't never going nowhere. We only got whatever we got. You ain't making no more. The earth is the earth. It is what it is. I might go find some tax sales in the county and buy me some properties, buy some taxes that belong to some properties. And if the people don't pay, then it's mine. But I would do stuff like that. Buy the land, build my house, fix this house for 20 grand. It ain't even gonna take 20 grand, but I would take the 20 grand and make this house all new and clean and freshly painted and everything, and I would rent it out tomorrow. It's like, nah, I got wait till the house built. But yeah, investments in tangible things and even the intangible, because that's what's valuable. I would have a lot of money left over because I wouldn't spend it all on that kind of thing, but I would life insurance. I would sit a nice chunk of change in a universal life insurance policy, because those are the ones that they accumulate. They gain I think it's up to 8%. Bank accounts give you 0.0 something percent return on your money, but life insurance gives you up to 8% return on your money. Or am I saying something crazy? I don't know. I just looked the other day, but I think it's up to 8%. So anyway, you get you a nice universal life policy. You got your death benefit, and then you got your other money that you can borrow off of, and your death benefit stays put. And they got this thing called infinity banking that I'm looking into right now, where you're your own bank pretty much, because you're using the insurance product and you putting all the money in. It's not taxed. So you sitting all your money over there is not taxed. The interest on it's not being taxed. It's okay. It's all yours. And I'm looking into, never mind, it's too much information. But what would you do with your $1 million? I got a plan. Just think about it. Because again, when I was sitting in that apartment in 2006, looking at the walls going, they going to put us out and I ain't got nowhere to go and I ain't got nobody to help, I did not know what I know now. I didn't know how I could get here. So my next level, I don't see that either probably. But based on what I do know, I can do some things. I can do some things. I can have some things. It's okay. I don't have to live a modest, meager life based on, being poor. I can have things. You know how many people in the Bible, how many faithful servants of God in the Bible were wealthy? Do you know? I made that part of my mission to find out. Every time I read a little bit of a, scripture or some text, like the prodigal son. You hear about the prodigal son all the time. The guy went out there, squandered all his money, and came back to his father. His father was like, I'm so happy. I'm going to give you everything because you came back. And you came back humble. And yes, thank you for coming back, son. I'm going to give you all these riches. He was rich. How you get him riches if he wasn't rich? David, King anybody. You know the king is rich. So many servants with wealth. But they didn't lose their focus because they were wealthy. You know I was about to go on a tangent again, don't you? I was. I'm sorry. Let me just focus. But I know some of y'all out there doing the math, and that $1 million is pretty much gone. But let me tell you again. Let's recap what I would put my $1 million in. USDA.gov, find me some land. More than one piece of land. It ain't going to cost me a whole lot of money to buy the land. Build the house that I want, my next house, on one of those pieces of land. It's going to cost me about $300,000 to $350,000 to buy the house I want on the land. I mean, to make it, to, build it. I forgot to say I would get my contractor's license first. Got to get that. So then I can hire the people, my people, the people I know who's going to build my house right. Get my contractor's license and get my bond and all of that, blah, blah, blah. But my business is pretty much straight. So get the license. But to get the license, you got to have your credit right so you can get a bond and that whole thing. Or you can put up your own money and you ain't got to pay for the insurance on the bond. You can, long story. See, tangent, doing too much. So I'm being chips. I'm sorry. But yeah, get the land, put the house on it, put a couple of dollars in this house right here, get it ready for rent. Get my universal life policy, put a bunch of money in there. So well, I'm at about 500 grand right now. So I can put a nice 100 grand minimum in my insurance policy and borrow off of that whenever I need to borrow in the future. And I was about to say I would set up a trust. I'm in researching it, but I don't really have all the answers yet. But I would set up a living trust so that I could put all my assets in it. And then I don't have to worry about my kids going through probate and paying taxes and different things for anything I have to transfer over to them. And I can pretty much allocate what goes where and how often if I do it that way. And the trust will operate even if I'm not here. So anything goes in it, people get paid, investments get made and different things. And the trust pretty much fuels itself and keeps paying for itself. I wouldn't give my kids 10 cents. They don't know what to do. But I would put it in a place where they can get it if they need it, if I ain't here. My grandkids gonna be all right. But I don't have $1 million yet. And that's just a 1 million. If I had multi-millions, Jesus. The things I could do. I would have houses in all kinds of states. I would go down to North Carolina and buy me a couple of those pieces too before things get out of hand. Because I see some things happening down there. And I'm trying to get in on that. But it's always about, I don't never have the money. If I had the money, I would do wonderful things. I would have don't laugh, but I would have a dog sanctuary with part of my $1 million. I love the dogs. Why do people keep getting the dogs and then leave them and they got to go to the shelter and get a new home? They like kids. They have memories and they bonded to you and they be sad when you go and stuff. Don't leave the dogs like that. I would take care of so many dogs. That's my thing. I don't think people should mistreat the dogs. I don't like it. I would get some, I would open up like a dog sanctuary for, misplaced animals who just need some hugs and somebody to play with. Yep, I would do that. That's why I ain't got no money, because I would do things that make sense. But I'm going to keep trying to make some money in the interim. I'll just live like this and try to have ideas. And, like right now I'm in a holding pattern. I have learned that sometimes God will tell me to sit down. Be still, Floyd. Be quiet. Don't do nothing. Don't try to figure nothing out. Shh. Shh. Just, I got it. Watch. So that's what I'm doing. And I've been enough places to know when I get the message, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do nothing else. I'm not going to be mad that I ain't working right now because I'm on a break for a reason. I will work myself literally to death. It's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to just be still and I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to just wait right there. So that's what I'm doing right now. What are you doing? Where you going? What's your plan? I ask my 12-year-old all the time, what's your plan? He knows now how to answer the question. But yeah, what's your plan? If it's time for you to be still and be quiet, pray on that thing, ask, is that what you're supposed to be doing? And don't get in the way, because wonderful things happen if you're obedient. Wonderful things happen if you're obedient. So do that and have a good day.